My child, stop scrolling for a moment and listen to me carefully, because what you are hearing right now is not random. This is not another video. This is not another message you casually pass by while your mind is distracted and your heart is somewhere else. I brought you here. I arranged this moment before you even opened your eyes today. Before you touched your phone, before your thoughts became heavy with worry, before the noise of this world started pulling at your attention, I already knew this moment would happen. I knew you would be here hearing my voice calling out to you one more time. And this time, my child, please hear me. I am not joking. I am not speaking empty words into the air. I am not trying to entertain you or impress you. I am speaking because I love you too much to remain silent while your soul slowly drifts farther away from the peace I created you to live in. This is your warning, but it is also your rescue. This is your wake-up call, but it is also proof that I have not given up on you. You have asked me for signs over and over again. You have cried out in secret asking where I am. You have wondered why your heart feels restless even when you try so hard to distract yourself. You have smiled in front of people while secretly feeling empty inside. You have carried pressure nobody knows about. There are nights when your body is exhausted, but your mind refuses to rest because deep inside you know something is wrong. You know something is missing. You feel it in quiet moments. You feel it when you are alone. You feel it after the distractions fade away and all you are left with is your thoughts. And my child, that emptiness you keep trying to ignore is not weakness. It is your soul crying out for me. I have been calling your name in ways you did not recognize. I spoke through your exhaustion. I spoke through your disappointment. I spoke through the doors that close unexpectedly. I spoke through the relationships that fell apart. I even spoke through the pain you begged me to remove. But instead of slowing down to hear me, you kept running toward louder voices. You kept trying to fill spiritual hunger with temporary things that could never truly heal you. Please listen carefully now, because I need you to understand something deeply. I am not angry that you are broken. I am not pushing you away because you made mistakes. I already knew every failure, every hidden struggle, every compromise, every moment you would fall long before you were born. And still I chose to love you completely. Still I chose to call you mine. But love does not stay silent while destruction grows. A loving father warns his child before danger comes. And that is why I am speaking with urgency today. I have waited patiently for you to return fully to me. I have watched you delay the changes you already know you need to make. I have watched you silence conviction because it felt uncomfortable. I have watched you pretend everything is fine while your spirit quietly weakens underneath the pressure of carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. But my child, I cannot allow you to keep walking this path without confronting you with truth. Time is moving. Your destiny matters. Your soul matters. And the enemy has been trying to slowly numb your spirit so you stop hearing my voice clearly. Do you realize how many times I protected you without you even knowing? There were moments when your life could have gone in a completely different direction. There were people I removed because they would have destroyed your peace. There were situations I blocked because they would have damaged your future. There were nights when darkness surrounded you and you thought you survived by luck, but it was my hand covering you. I never stopped watching over you even while you ignored me. I never abandoned you even when you wandered into places that wounded your spirit. I stayed near you through every anxious night, every hidden tear, every silent breakdown, every moment you felt like giving up. And now I am asking you one thing. Stop ignoring me. Stop treating my voice like background noise while you continue feeding the distractions, slowly draining the life from your soul. My child, this message is not a coincidence. You were meant to hear this exact warning at this exact moment. There is a reason your attention stopped here. There is a reason your heart feels stirred while listening. Deep inside, your spirit recognizes my voice. That emotion rising inside you right now is not random. That heaviness in your chest is not imagination. I am reaching for you. I am calling you back before things become harder than they need to be. Some of the frustration in your life is not punishment. It is the result of resisting the direction I have been trying to lead you toward. You keep asking me for peace while holding on to the very things destroying your peace. You keep asking me for clarity while continuing to entertain confusion. You keep praying for change while refusing to release habits, relationships, thoughts, and patterns that are slowly suffocating your spirit. My child, hear me clearly now. I am trying to save you from deeper pain. I am trying to bring you back to life before your heart becomes completely numb. I know you are tired. I know you are emotionally drained from pretending to be strong all the time. I know there are moments you feel alone even in rooms full of people. I know there are prayers you stopped praying because disappointment convinced you nothing would change. But I need you to understand this with all your heart. I have not forgotten you. At once. Even now, while you are listening to this message, my love surrounds you completely. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking because there is still purpose over your life. There is still hope for your future. There is still healing waiting for you. But you cannot continue living divided between my voice and the world's distractions. You cannot keep delaying your surrender while expecting your soul to feel at peace. The confusion you feel is the result of trying to stand in two different directions at once. I am calling you back into alignment with me because I know the plans I created for your life, and I refuse to let darkness steal what belongs to you. Say amen. Peace is entering my heart if you're claiming calm over chaos. Before you continue with your day, before you push this message aside and tell yourself you will think about it later, hear me one more time. Please hear me this time. Do not ignore what your spirit already knows is true. I am not a story. I am not just words on a screen. I am your God. I see every hidden wound. I hear every unspoken fear. I know the battle happening inside you even when nobody else notices it. And I am standing before the door of your heart asking you to let me in fully, not halfway, not occasionally, not only when life becomes difficult, but completely. This moment can become the turning point of your entire life if you choose to respond instead of scrolling away unchanged. I brought this message to you because I love you urgently. I love you enough to interrupt your distractions. I love you enough to confront the things hurting your soul. I love you enough to warn you before it is too late to keep pretending everything is fine. So stay with me now, my child. Do not rush away from this moment. Let my words sink deep into your spirit because what I am about to reveal next will explain why your heart has been feeling so heavy for so long. My child, before you continue listening, I need you to quiet the noise around you because what I am about to tell you reaches deeper than your ears. It reaches into the hidden places of your spirit that you have tried to silence for far too long. I have been speaking to you for a very long time, long before this moment, long before today, long before you clicked on this message. I have been reaching for your attention in ways you did not recognize because my voice does not always arrive through thunder. Sometimes I speak through interruption. Sometimes I speak through discomfort. Sometimes I speak through the very things you prayed would disappear. But instead of seizing my hand, you kept calling everything coincidence. You kept dismissing the signs because they did not arrive the way you expected. Yet through it all, I never stopped trying to reach you. Do you remember those moments when something inside you suddenly felt unsettled for no clear reason? Those nights when you could not sleep even though your body was exhausted? Those times when your thoughts became heavy and your spirit felt disturbed even while everything around you appeared normal? My child, that was not random anxiety. That was me trying to slow you down before you walked deeper into places that would wound your soul. I whispered warnings into your spirit, but you distracted yourself before fully hearing them. I sent conviction to your heart, but you called it overthinking. I tried to redirect your steps, but you kept convincing yourself that your own plans were better. Still, even while you resisted me, I remained patient. Even while you ignored the discomfort in your spirit, I stayed near you, hoping you would eventually stop long enough to listen. There were relationships I warned you about before they ever broke your heart. Deep inside, you sensed something was wrong, but you stayed anyway because loneliness felt heavier than discernment. I watched you ignore the quiet feeling in your spirit because you wanted certain people to remain in your life so badly. I saw you trying to force connections I never intended to carry your future. And when those relationships eventually wounded you, you wondered why the pain felt so deep. My child, it hurt because your spirit already knew the truth before your mind accepted it. I was trying to protect you long before the damage came. But you kept hoping people would heal wounds only I could heal. You kept searching for peace in human hands while your soul quietly cried out for mine. I also spoke to you through closed doors. There were opportunities you desperately wanted that suddenly disappeared. There were plans that collapsed unexpectedly. There were moments when you felt frustrated because things were not moving the way you hoped. You thought I was ignoring your prayers, but I was actually protecting your future. Some doors closed because destruction was waiting behind them. Some delays happened because you were not spiritually prepared for what you were asking for. Some disappointments were actually mercy wearing painful clothing. But because you could not yet see the full picture, you interpreted my protection as rejection. You cried over things I saved you from. You chased after things that would have drained your spirit. And still, through every misunderstanding, I stayed close, waiting for the day you would finally trust that my wisdom reaches beyond your temporary emotions. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness in your life and devotion to God. And if you want, you can donate to us, given link in description or pinned comment, to show your support. My child, I have spoken to you through exhaustion too. The tiredness you carry is not only physical. Your soul has grown weary from trying to survive without fully surrendering to me. You have spent so much energy pretending to be okay. You smile while carrying pressure nobody understands. You tell people you are fine while secretly feeling empty inside. You wake up already tired because your heart has been carrying burdens you were never created to carry alone. I watched you try to numb the emptiness with distractions. I watched you scroll endlessly trying to escape your thoughts. I watched you surround yourself with noise because silence forced you to confront what was happening inside your spirit. But even then, I kept speaking. I spoke through the restlessness that followed you after every distraction faded away. I spoke through the moments when you suddenly felt emotional for no obvious reason. I spoke through the quiet ache in your heart that kept whispering that something was missing. You thought your greatest problem was stress, but the deeper issue was distance. Distance from my presence. Distance from the peace that only comes when your spirit fully rests in me. The world taught you to keep moving, keep chasing, keep distracting yourself, keep pretending everything is under control. But I never created you to live disconnected from me. Your soul was designed to breathe in my presence. And the longer you tried to survive without fully surrendering your heart to me, the heavier life became. That is why even good moments sometimes still felt empty. That is why temporary happiness never lasted long enough. That is why you could sit in a room full of people and still feel alone inside. Your spirit hath been longing for me while your mind searched everywhere else for answers. I need you to understand something important now, my child. I was never trying to destroy your happiness. I was trying to rescue your soul. Every warning came from love. Every conviction came from love. Every interruption came from love. Even the uncomfortable moments carried my mercy because I could see dangers ahead that you could not yet recognize. I saw how certain habits were slowly damaging your peace. I saw how some environments were darkening your spirit. I saw how compromise was quietly becoming normal in areas where I was calling you higher. And because I love you deeply, I refused to stay silent while those things slowly pulled you farther away from the life I created for you. There were moments you felt my presence strongly, but instead of staying close to me, you returned to the same patterns that kept draining your spirit. You asked me to heal your pain while continuing to hold on to the things causing it. You prayed for freedom while entertaining the chains keeping you bound. You wanted clarity while refusing to let go of confusion. My child, I say this with love, not condemnation. You cannot continue feeding darkness while asking for light to grow stronger inside you. The heaviness you feel is not because I abandoned you. It is because your soul knows you were created for more than this cycle of temporary distractions and spiritual exhaustion. Do you remember the times when tears suddenly filled your eyes for no reason? Those moments when your heart felt overwhelmed and you could not even explain why? That was your spirit responding to my presence. That was me touching the places inside you that the world could never heal. Even now, while you hear these words, something deep inside you recognizes the truth because your spirit knows my voice. You may have ignored me many times before, but I never stopped calling your name. Through every mistake, every failure, every compromise, every season of distance, I kept reaching for you. I kept warning you because I saw the purpose attached to your life. I saw the future I created for you before you were born. And I refused to let darkness slowly destroy what heaven designed with intention. My beloved child, please understand this clearly now. I am not exposing these things to shame you. I am revealing them because healing begins when truth is finally accepted. You cannot change what you keep pretending is harmless. You cannot heal wounds you refuse to confront. And you cannot fully step into the peace I have for you while continuing to run from the voice trying to save you. I have been speaking to you for a long time because your life matters deeply to me. Your destiny matters. Your soul matters. Your future matters. I know the plans I placed inside you, and I know the attacks that have tried to stop those plans from unfolding. That is why my voice has followed you even in your darkest moments. That is why conviction never completely left your heart. That is why you could never fully enjoy the things slowly pulling you away from me. Deep inside, your spirit always knew you belonged somewhere higher. And now, my child, after all this time, after all the warnings, after all the moments you nearly gave up completely, you are finally beginning to hear me clearly. This is not an accident. This is the moment your soul starts waking up again. But what I need to show you next is even deeper, because the exhaustion you carry is connected to something you have not fully understood yet. You are tired not only because life is hard. You are tired because you have been running from the very love your soul desperately needs. My child, I need you to stay with me now, because what I am about to reveal may touch places inside you that you have tried very hard to hide. You tell yourself you are simply tired from life, tired from responsibilities, tired from stress, tired from people, tired from disappointment. And yes, those things have affected you. But there is a deeper exhaustion living inside your soul that no amount of sleep has been able to fix. You have tried resting your body while your spirit continued starving. You have tried escaping your emotions with distractions while your heart silently cried for healing. You have tried staying busy so you would not have to confront the emptiness growing inside you. But my child, the reason you still feel drained even after trying so many things is because your soul misses me more than you realize. You were never created to live disconnected from my presence. You were never designed to carry life completely on your own strength. Yet somewhere along the way, you started depending more on your own survival than on my guidance. You kept pushing yourself forward while your spirit slowly weakened underneath the pressure. You convinced yourself that if you stayed distracted enough, entertained enough, busy enough, successful enough, connected enough, you could silence the ache inside you. But every temporary escape eventually faded, and the emptiness returned stronger than before. That feeling inside you is not weakness. It is your soul exhausted from trying to survive far away from the peace only I can give. I have watched you sit quietly after everyone else fell asleep, staring into darkness while your thoughts raced through your mind. I saw the tears you wiped away quickly because you did not want anyone to know how overwhelmed you truly felt. I saw the moments when you smiled around others, but secretly felt numb inside. There were days when you laughed in public but cried in private. There were mornings when you woke up already emotionally tired before the day even started. You kept telling yourself to stay strong, but deep down you were breaking under pressure nobody else could fully see. And through all of it, I stayed beside you. Even while you searched for peace in places that could never truly heal your spirit, I remained close, waiting for you to finally stop running long enough to let me hold your heart again. My child, some of the things you turned to for comfort were never meant to carry the weight of your pain. You gave people responsibilities that only belonged to me. You hoped human attention would heal spiritual loneliness. You searched for validation from others because deep inside you forgot how valuable you already were to me. You became dependent on distractions because silence forced you to feel the wounds you buried long ago. You kept reaching for temporary comfort while your spirit quietly begged for eternal peace. And every time those temporary things failed to satisfy your heart, disappointment grew heavier inside you. Say amen. You are my defender if God is your protector in every battle. I know there are parts of your story you rarely talk about. I know about the rejection that changed the way you see yourself. I know about the betrayal that made it difficult for you to trust people again. I know about the words spoken over you that still echo painfully in your mind when nobody else is around. I know about the moments when you questioned your worth because life did not unfold the way you expected. I know about the hidden insecurities you try so hard to cover up. I know about the nights when fear wrapped itself around your thoughts and convinced you that nothing would ever truly change. My child, I saw every moment. And the reason those wounds still ache so deeply is because you have tried healing them without fully bringing them to me. You became skilled at hiding your pain. You learned how to appear okay even while struggling inside. You learned how to function while emotionally exhausted. You learned how to carry heartbreak silently. You learned how to avoid conversations that touched your deepest wounds because vulnerability felt dangerous after everything you experienced. But my beloved child, the walls you built to protect yourself are also keeping healing from fully reaching your heart. You keep guarding wounds I am asking you to surrender to me. You keep holding pain in places where my love is trying to enter. I need you to hear this carefully now. You do not have to keep pretending anymore. You do not have to keep carrying every burden alone. I never asked you to survive without me. The world may celebrate independence, but I created you for relationship with me. Your soul cannot fully breathe while separated from the one who formed it. That is why even your victories sometimes still feel empty. That is why certain achievements never brought the fulfillment you expected. That is why some relationships left you feeling more lonely instead of more loved. Nothing in this world can replace my presence in your life. Nothing temporary can satisfy eternal hunger. There were moments when you sensed me calling you back, but fear convinced you to stay where you were comfortable. Sometimes you avoided me because you thought I was disappointed in you. Sometimes guilt made you hide from my presence instead of running toward it. Sometimes you believed the lie that you had fallen too far away for restoration to still be possible. But my child, if you only understood how much I still love you, you would stop running immediately. I am not standing over you with rejection. I am standing before you with open arms. I am not trying to shame you for your brokenness. I am trying to heal what has been hurting you for years. The enemy has worked very hard to keep you spiritually exhausted because exhausted souls struggle to hear my voice clearly. He wanted you overwhelmed, distracted, emotionally drained, spiritually numb, constantly anxious, constantly doubting yourself, constantly chasing temporary things while slowly forgetting who you truly are. He wanted you to believe that surviving pain was the same thing as healing from it. But I am exposing those lies now because I did not create you just to survive life emotionally wounded and spiritually empty. I created you to live deeply connected to my peace, my truth, my presence, and my love. My child, I know you are tired of carrying invisible battles nobody understands. I know you are tired of fighting thoughts that constantly attack your peace. I know you are tired of pretending everything is fine when deep inside you feel overwhelmed. But this exhaustion is not the end of your story. This is the moment where healing begins if you stop running from me. Stop running into distractions every time conviction touches your spirit. Stop running into temporary comfort every time loneliness rises inside you. Stop running back toward the same patterns that continue draining your soul. You do not need another distraction. You need restoration. You need truth. You need my presence filling the empty places inside you that nothing else has been able to heal. Even now, while you hear these words, I can feel the heaviness inside your heart beginning to soften. That emotion rising within you is not weakness. That ache you feel while listening is not random. I am touching the places you buried underneath years of disappointment and emotional survival. I am reaching beyond the mask you show people and speaking directly to the wounded parts of your spirit that still need healing. And I need you to understand something clearly now, my child. You are not too broken for me to restore. You are not too far gone for my love to reach. You are not too damaged for your future to still carry purpose. I know there were moments when you secretly wondered if anyone truly cared about what you were carrying inside. But I cared. Every single moment. I was there when nobody checked on you. I was there when you felt forgotten. I was there when your heart broke quietly behind closed doors. I was there when fear convinced you that your future would never improve. I never left you. Even when you felt spiritually numb, I stayed close. Even while you searched for answers in all the wrong places, I continued pursuing your heart because my love for you has never weakened. Now I am asking you gently, but urgently, stop running from the very love capable of healing you completely. Stop resisting the surrender your soul desperately needs. You do not have to carry this exhaustion forever. You do not have to keep drowning silently while pretending to be strong. Bring me the pain. Bring me the fear. Bring me the confusion. Bring me the loneliness. Bring me the hidden wounds you thought nobody understood. Let me heal what the world could never heal. Let me restore the parts of you that became tired from surviving too long without fully resting in me. Because what I need to tell you next is even more serious. My love for you is deep, but my warnings are also real. And if you continue ignoring my voice, the consequences will become heavier than you realize. My child, listen to me very carefully now, because what I am about to say carries urgency that you cannot afford to ignore. My love for you has always been deep, patient, gentle, and faithful, but do not mistake my patience for approval of the things destroying your soul. I have waited for you with mercy again and again. I have called your name softly through conviction, through warning signs, through moments of discomfort, through the quiet ache in your spirit that kept telling you something needed to change. But now the time has come for you to understand that my love is not passive anymore. I will not stand silently while darkness slowly pulls you away from the life I created for you. I refuse to watch you continue walking toward destruction while pretending everything is fine. This warning comes from love, not rejection. It comes from the heart of a father who sees dangers ahead that you cannot yet fully recognize. For too long, you have been trying to live with one foot in my presence and one foot in the world. You keep asking me for peace while continuing to entertain things that steal your peace. You ask me for freedom while holding tightly to chains you already know are hurting you. You ask me for clarity while surrounding yourself with confusion. My child, there comes a moment when love must confront truth directly. And this is that moment. You cannot continue ignoring conviction without consequences touching your life more deeply. You cannot repeatedly silence my voice and expect your spirit to remain strong. Every time you ignore what I am showing you, your heart becomes slightly harder. Every compromise weakens your discernment a little more. Every delay creates more distance between your spirit and the peace you are searching for. I know these words feel heavy, but I speak them because I love you too much to let you remain asleep spiritually. The enemy has been working quietly around your life for longer than you realize. Not every attack came through obvious destruction. Some attacks came through distraction. Some came through emotional exhaustion. Some came through relationships that slowly drained your spirit. Some came through compromise that appeared harmless in the beginning. Some came through the constant noise surrounding your mind until you could barely recognize my voice anymore. The enemy's goal was never just to make you struggle temporarily. His goal was to slowly disconnect you from me while convincing you everything was still okay. He wanted your prayer life weakened. He wanted your discernment clouded. He wanted your spirit numb. He wanted you spiritually tired enough that you would stop fighting for the life I created you to live. And my child, if I remained silent while all of this continued happening, that would not be love. Love warns. Love protects. Love confronts what is dangerous before it destroys what is precious. That is why I am speaking so urgently now. I see the direction some of your choices are leading toward. I see the emotional damage growing underneath the surface. I see the spiritual battles you barely understand are happening around you. I see how certain patterns are affecting your mind, your peace, your identity, and your future. And I am calling you back now before deeper consequences unfold. You have ignored certain conviction because changing felt uncomfortable. You knew some relationships were unhealthy, but you stayed because loneliness frightened you. You knew some habits were damaging your spirit, but temporary comfort felt easier than surrender. You knew certain environments were pulling you farther from me, but you convinced yourself you still had control. My child, hear me clearly. You are not strong enough to keep playing near darkness without eventually becoming wounded by it. What you repeatedly entertain will eventually shape your spirit. What you continuously allow into your heart will slowly influence the direction of your life. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight. I am asking you to stop resisting my correction. There is a difference between struggling and surrendering to destruction. There is a difference between weakness and rebellion. I know you are human. I know healing takes time. But I also know when your spirit is ignoring truth because facing change feels difficult. And because I love you, I will continue confronting the areas of your life where compromise is quietly stealing your peace. My child, there are consequences attached to repeatedly ignoring my voice. Not because I desire to punish you, but because separation from my guidance always leads toward pain eventually. The farther you drift from my truth, the more confusion grows. The more compromise enters your life, the heavier your spirit becomes. The more you resist surrender, the more exhausted your soul feels. Some of the emotional heaviness you carry right now exists because your spirit knows you are fighting against the direction I have been trying to lead you toward. You feel tension inside because part of you wants freedom while another part still clings to what is familiar, even when familiar things are hurting you. I need you to understand something deeply now. The enemy studies your weaknesses carefully. You watch as the wounds you never fully healed from. You watch as the loneliness you tried to hide. You watch as the fears you battle silently. And then he sends distractions designed specifically for your vulnerabilities. He knows exactly what pulls your attention away from me. He knows which lies make you doubt yourself. He knows what temptations weaken your discernment. And because he cannot destroy the purpose I placed inside you directly, he tries to slowly exhaust your spirit until you stop fighting for your destiny altogether. But my child, I refuse to let darkness claim what belongs to me. I refuse to watch you slowly lose yourself while pretending everything is under control. That is why this message carries urgency. This is not just inspiration. This is intervention. Heaven is reaching into your life right now because your future matters too much for silence. I am exposing what has been draining your spirit because I want to restore you before deeper damage unfolds. Do not mistake my warning for rejection. If I wanted to abandon you, I would stop speaking altogether. The fact that conviction still touches your heart is proof that my mercy is still pursuing you. The fact that these words stir something inside your spirit means I am still calling you higher. My child, there are people who no longer feel conviction because they ignored my voice for too long. Their hearts became numb. Their spirits became cold. But you are still hearing me because I have not given up on you. Please hear me this time. Stop treating spiritual compromise casually. Stop convincing yourself that delayed obedience has no consequences. Stop waiting for life to completely fall apart before you finally surrender fully to me. You do not realize how close some dangers have come to your life already. There are battles I protected you from that you never even saw. There are traps I blocked before they reached you. There are moments when my mercy stood between you and destruction while you remained completely unaware. And now I am warning you because I see what is ahead if you continue ignoring the direction I am trying to lead you toward. Type Amen. My prayers are moving heaven if you believe answers are on their way. And share this video.